How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just enjoying my Sunday. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying my Sunday as well.
Yeah. What do you got going on today?
Just got the pool going on this afternoon. Hanging out with my wife, and I think we had to head over to Target for something. I don't know. She was saying she needed to grab something.
That's a chill Sunday. You're in Texas, right? Where are you?
I'm
No.
actually in Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah, East Coast.
Nice. Nice. Is it hot out there or what?
Actually, after it rained, the Hurricane Debbie thing, following up the coast of the East Coast, so it brought some torrential downpour the other day, so it brought down the temperature pretty good from like the high 90s up to the hundreds down to like the low 80s. So we're sitting around about the low 80s, so decent summer weather.
Dude, high 90s out there. I feel like, I mean, I was in New Jersey. I don't know if it's as humid where you are, but it was
Oh
humid. High
yeah.
90s feels like 110 in California, you know?
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah, I could see that. You guys are usually dealing with like dry heat, right?
which I prefer. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to live in San Diego, so I'm familiar with the great weather out there, and I do miss the weather sometimes. So
Yeah. Well, cool, man.
yeah.
Hey, thanks for doing this for Sophia, and I appreciate you a lot. And
Yeah,
I
of
just have a
course.
few questions I kind of wanted to go through with you. Super casual, but yeah. I guess before we get into this, was there any like questions or anything specific that you wanted to talk about today, or just running with it?
I think I'm good. I just know we're still waiting on the Truist app application for the most recent credit card we applied for. So I don't know if you heard anything. It said 2 to 3 business days.
U.S. Bank, right?
Yeah, U.S. Bank.
Because
They
U.S.
said the.
Truist gave you the 20
Oh,
already.
sorry. Yeah, U.S. Bank. I'm sorry. Mixed that up.
U.S. Bank will take probably like a week-ish. Or it could be like 2 to 3 business days, but I'm watching the inbox and I'll let you know.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you're at like 95K right now, which is sweet because you and I first connected last Sunday and it's already this Sunday. So
Yeah,
can't
that's crazy.
can't be mad about that, you know?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm just kind of still in still in awe and like how fast that process was. And I remember talking to Wasim with the short-term rental locator company, and
Mhm.
him just giving me some advice about how the application goes usually with trying to do it on your own, not necessarily knowing having any connections with people on the inside,
Mhm.
or just working with associates with another company to kind of help your business out. So I was just I'm all new to everything, so I'm still learning, and I didn't necessarily understand the full in full capacity of what that meant. So until I went to go apply myself, and I was denied a business line of credit because that's what I was originally applying for. I didn't want to go for a loan because I wasn't sure how much I actually needed for whatever business propositions were coming up for some um, properties coming. But um, yeah, after I got denied for applying for like, I think it was just 50K. I was asking from Chase, and they looked at my credit and they denied it based on the age of my company, which was about like a
Mhm.
couple months, and the what I applied for, and me not knowing like I for a short term rental company, I thought it was just real estate because that's what the LLC was registered as, but it is technically a marketing company, in which I learned with you and Sophia teaching me about that, which makes a lot more sense because it is marketing for uh, landowners to advertise their properties to be um, about nightly rates on like Airbnb or Verbo, whatever platform you would want to use for that. But that helped change the whole outlook and my perspective at that time, where I was just like, okay, well, I just got denied, and they told me to come back in a couple months, and you let me know off the rip. Usually businesses that are applying for business line of credit usually are around for at least 2 years to have tax returns to show proof of revenue and profits and cash flow, and also to have like a business plan to be able to show that to the banks. So um, when you guys were able to get an approval of 50K like the next day after we applied, I was just like, what? That was pretty
No, from the
crazy. And then
same bank.
yeah, from the same bank. And I was just like, okay, well, Wasim was correct, and also Xavier was also correct about everything he said. So I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Start building some momentum, and then within the same hour, I believe, with Amex. I mean, I had a what, two cards with them. I guess that kind of helped with the process of verifying my application, but also another 25K with Amex within the same hour. So it was like 75K within a day. And I believe he did Truist the next day. And that was another 20K. So I was just, within like a span of like 3 days, I was up 95 from the day, a couple of days previously than having nothing. Other than my personal savings, but it's very important. I'm learning as well, using the bank's money or other people's money to assist with acquiring or building your business.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm super grateful, and I'm looking forward to the last approval. We might hit 100K, which I'm pretty confident it will. So that's, I don't know. It's pretty wild to see, um, within a short time span like that, and being new to owning a business and learning how funding works. Um, it could have went two ways. I could have waited another 6 months, applied again, and probably got denied. If I didn't go work with this with your company, with you and Sophia, or what you're telling me, after that, I could have been working for 2 years and still like paying out of pocket with my own personal money and funds, versus like getting some uh, capital from banks, and utilizing this 12-month zero APR, which is awesome for a new company, new business. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy that I was able to get connected with you, and you and Sophia, and I'm just grateful that I was able to get approved for 95K so far, hopefully 100K.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that a lot. And just so anyone seeing this as well can kind of know, what exactly is the business model that you're venturing off into? Like, do you want to just kind of elaborate on what you'll be using the funds for a little bit?
Yeah, so I would do rental arbitrage, which essentially is, the way I explain it to most clients is, so give an example of a 12 pack of Coke, right? So 12 pack of Coke would be sold at like given any convenience store. You buy the whole 12 pack for what, $5.99 or whatever how much inflation is right now.
Hmm.
You can either buy the full pack, or you can sell it by the can and make a higher profit, like 2 or 3 times. So versus so buying 12 packs or a month, like comparing this to somebody's Airbnb or their property that they're listing on booking.com or Verbo, and they're booking it by the monthly or just having it rented out by month. Um, in rental arbitrage, they sell it by the night, or which is basically, what everyone's doing on Airbnb. You are selling your property versus by month, but rent, you're selling it by night at a nightly
Hmm.
rate. And bring that back to the Coke analogy, you're selling one can or one night, and getting two to three times the profit of how
Right.
much you would be normally selling, uh, or advertising your place to be leased out for 12 months, 12 to 36 months.
Hmm.
Um, so with the money that I would have gotten, or I do will be having to liquidate, would help with acquiring more properties, because I have one property right now. I'm making a 1.4K a month with that, but that was out of my personal funds, and I was looking to purchase single family homes, which would like double or triple the amount of cash flow coming in. So I wasn't able to do that because one property over here in Maryland or in the DMV is about like 43K just for the month of rent, and then times the first month rent of deposit. They usually do last month's rent, and then they also do like application fees and stuff like that. And if you're staging a property, you would have to do some renovations, some home improvement, um, set up a smartless lock, and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But what the capital I'm getting is basically acquiring more properties and building the cash flow and revenue for the business in order for it to be growing and substantial to the point where I can be financially free.
Hmm.
That's the goal, but with the money, that's essentially this is the vehicle that is allowing me to do so. If I were to just use my personal funds with my job, which is good, like I'm active duty military, so I'm not saying like I'm not getting paid a decent amount, but this is just um, I don't know. It was a great vehicle for me to scale my business a lot faster.
Hmm. So basically, the business funding has kind of like been the key that lets you turn the knob because otherwise you would have either well, you would have probably had to use your own capital and either A, you have the capital and you just want to use the business funding because that way you can hold your cash, or B, you just don't have the capital and now this is allowing you the opportunity. Regardless, with the business funding being 0% interest for 12 months, you can now scale because it sounds like you already have a unit, you're already cashing out on it. So you know the model works, you know how to do it. You see an
Mhm.
opportunity to get in on units of larger size or that can make you more money. And now you're just going to be able to do that, right?
Right, 100%. Yeah, I just didn't have the capital,
So
so yeah, yeah, 100%. This definitely was the key to turning that knob to open that door. Um,
on a average kind of rate, if you know the answer to this, what do the usual return on investment turnaround time frames look like with your business model?
so it can be up to 6 to 8 months, depending on the location, which is very important when it comes to real estate and Airbnbs. Um, so if you had like prime location, say it scored like a 90% market score, you could see that within a few 3 to 4 months. But usually, normally it would take 6 to 8 months, maybe possibly up to a year to actually see the profits because you're putting all that money down. Yes, you're getting some money back from months after you've
Mhm.
put it on the market, but normally it takes 6 to 8 months to actually see like the profits from that.
So basically, you can take the 95K so far, and I say that because obviously we're still waiting on that final one. You could use that for however many units that you can get out of that, and then you can probably make your return on your investment before any interest is accrued on the 95K. So with your
Oh yeah,
business
100%.
model, you're borrowing the bank's money without paying the banks a dime. If you can get away with a profit in 6 months or a return on investment in 6 months, you might even be able to turn two. Sounds like it's more likely going to be a little bit longer though, but that would be cool. Um, so yeah, it really is going to work well for you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, of course, we have to wait and see, but the goal is to not pay a dime on or a penny on interest.
Yeah.
But it is looking very much that way right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm glad we could help. And I'm just gonna say it like this because I actually went back and looked at the approvals and how it all came in. So you and I, we met like last Sunday. Today,
Hmm.
this Sunday. So now here we are doing this video talking about the process. Um, got you 95K so far in
Yeah.
funds. And I went back and looked. We did the 50K approval on Wednesday. And then a couple hours later, the 25K came in. Thursday, you applied with Truist. Like, well, I'm in California time. So it was like about 6 a.m. Friday. You got the 25K in. So ultimately, it ended up being like less than 48 hours. You knocked out like 95K in funding.
Yeah.
Which is insane because like you said, we were able to squeeze that 50K approval out of a bank that literally like 2 weeks prior you tried to apply for 50K at and they completely denied you.
Yeah,
We
instant
just take
denial.
that back. Yeah, it comes down to just knowing the funding products, knowing what the underwriters are looking for, how to frame things the right way. Um, but yeah, it's impressive. And how old is your business, do you think, right now? Your like actual LLC.
The actual LLC is literally 3 months old. So to be able to get that business capital and for that amount is amazing.
No financial documentation needed, no tax returns. Um,
No, just the EIN for the business. No, usually the banks were asking for like a projection and a whole um basically plan of profits for a month, a year out actually, tax returns. And yeah, was not going to be able to do that in my realm with using short-term rentals and Airbnbs. They were asking to prove it, and all I had at that time is payouts from Airbnb, and they're like, no, you can't use that. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I hear you. Um, oh, cool. How was the process working with Sophia and I? You know, it was super quick, so I don't know how much you have to say about it, but yeah, if you got any compliments, I'm all ears.
Well, I would say that you guys are very professional and very opening to just any questions that I had about the process and very quick. I think as soon as you sent me the application, I mean, on my part, I was trying to push it so, and you were able to keep up with how fast I was trying to turn that around. So as soon as I applied, you were already accepting, and right away, right after I completed it, and you got the notification, you reached back out and just gave the next steps and gave me a time frame. So I was very much in the know, and I would say that you guys have great communication skills, and you're very good at communicating or articulating what needs to get done and how to get it done. So I would definitely give you that positive feedback and compliments to Sophia as well, being very professional and um, quick and effective. I think that this is my first time working with a financial company like you guys, and I don't know, you just kind of made the benchmark kind of high if I was going to work with another company, but I don't see how.
Yeah, don't
This
work with
is
another company. You're good with
yeah,
us. Trust me on that one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've spared a lot of people who have worked with other funding companies in the past. And then they come to us and we try to give them like the 5-star experience, kind of. We tried to start Restora Funding almost like a concierge was the goal we were going for. We really wanted to add like a professional and human touch to the funding space where if you need something, we're communicating with you like that, you know? Everything is transparent, everything is professional. So that's kind of our thing. So I'm glad you could recognize that. And one thing you mentioned to me earlier in this conversation was that the end goal of all of this was financial freedom. You know, you use those words, and I find that a lot of the short-term rental arbitrage business owners we're working with, financial freedom is the goal. I mean, for a lot of business owners in general, like financial freedom is the goal. You know, it's so easy to get overworked in life, in your career, in the business you're trying to start up. So obviously that's very desirable. And your business model, I feel, is so perfect for that because you can delegate a lot of it to property management, you know, cleaning. You know, I have a buddy who literally his property managers find him more arbitrage units. So he doesn't have to like pitch landlords anymore, right? So it's really good for what you're trying to do. But for you, what does financial freedom look like? Like, does that mean more time with your family and friends? Does that mean like traveling the world? Maybe it's something even more minimalistic than that. Just curious.
Yeah, so for me, financial freedom would look like being able to take care of my parents. So my parents came to this country from Cambodia in like the early 70s, and they came from like most immigrants, you know, they were either came from a war-torn country, so they came back from Cambodia with nothing but like the clothes on the back, and they worked. They got their social security number in their like their mid 20s, and they don't have a lot of savings. You know, going through all these I won't say we didn't have any depressions, or we had recessions in the United States while they were here, and the during 2008 2009 the housing market crash. They took a hit on that too, so they don't really have any savings. So like me taking care of my parents, and also me recently getting married, coming back to the United States. I was, I mentioned I was in the military. I was stationed in Japan for about the last 3 years, and I just came back here. And being able to take care of them, and also take care of my wife and my future family, because we plan on having kids, um, to buy that time back is what's important to me, because you can be working and grinding for the next 20 to 50 years of your life, and at the end of that, if you are not making money while you're sleeping, or like making investments, and thinking about the future, and actually making steps to building that foundation, um, you're going to be working until the day you die. Like, you can't necessarily not invest money or create some type of cash flow um, where you're making money while you're not working. So you have to be able to buy back your time in order to take care of things that do matter in life, which is your family. And that also includes like traveling. I love to travel, and I would love to see the rest of the world. Uh, I'm in the Navy, so I got to travel quite a bit. I've been to 21 countries so far, but I'd love to do that with my wife, and that's what we were doing before when we were dating. We were going to different countries, and I would love to hit up Europe, maybe South Africa, um, Central America, hit up those countries, and I don't know, just live life and see my family prosper, and not have to worry about when the next um, next. I don't want to worry about how are we going to survive, how are we going to thrive, are we going to be okay, like that question mark, which a lot of Americans or people are always thinking of, are we going to be okay? I don't want to think about that. I want to think about, okay, what are we going to do to make our lives better?
Yeah, I hear you. A lot of people are in like that almost survival mode, like that struggle mentality where the next move is it's almost fueled by like fear. It's like how are we gonna move forward? Like how are we gonna survive? Like are we gonna be okay? Um which is a very different mindset than like, okay, like what's the next step to like make our lives better? Like almost like a very like growth oriented mindset. Which is a great place to be. And by the way, I think it's like beautiful that the reason you're doing all this and what financial freedom looks like to you is buying back time that you feel like you've missed, with your friends, your family, mainly, it sounds like. Yeah, I feel really honored, honestly, that Sophia and I were able to be a part in that journey for you. And in regards to your business model too, it all comes down to like leverage with financial freedom, right? Like you're leveraging the bank's money, you're leveraging property owners' assets. And if you wanted to, probably at a later point, it sounds like, or maybe even now, you can leverage other people or softwares like labor, right? People, like I said, to clean for you, property managers. I think with Airbnb, there's softwares that even can like respond to guests for you, at least to some extent. So it works out really well because you're not on fixed income. So you can basically continue to borrow money, build strong relationships with the banks, which we've kind of planted seeds for you there. Pay the banks back, borrow more money, continue to scale, increase your income, continue to delegate where you can see it fit. And it's almost like you can work hard or you can work smart in life. Um, and in your case, or at least the way you're positioning yourself, working hard doesn't necessarily equate to more financial freedom, right? Um, it's all about like positioning and like leverage. More hours put in doesn't necessarily mean like more time or money on your part, right? So
Right.
yeah, well, it's super cool. And Steven, it's been an honor being able to work with you on the funding round. It was short and clean, obviously. That's pretty much all the questions I wanted to ask, but um Actually, I got one. This is just off the top of my head. If someone watching this wanted to work with Sophia and I, but were maybe like on the fence about working with us, what would you say to that person?
I would say, think about this. Trying to guide yourself in the dark if you're not necessarily knowing what to do next and you tried on your own and you were not necessarily being successful in life, having a mentor or knowing someone that knows have been through the routes that you're trying to go through is very important to have. um you could you can have the intention of doing something, but if you don't have the plan and the background of it, you're more than likely not going to be successful. So if you're on the edge or yeah, if you're on the edge of like deciding whether to work with your company, and you're scared to like step off that ledge or jump, I would say jump. I mean, I've done it already, so I can say that confidently. um but just on the other side, um trusting people that have done what you're trying to do is probably the smartest thing you can do as far as in life. So working with a business that um, knows the financial backgrounds and has those connections already instead of building it is going to save you a lot of time and stress.